Okay. Welcome to RVA Lug. My name is Mark Weisser, and this is a presentation continuing from last month's presentation, IoT architecture. In this section, we're going to be dealing with moving requirements using PHP and MariaDB. So, who am I? Well, I'm a marine engineer. Why is a computer geek standing here as a marine engineer? I also have a patent for a combined cycle waste heat turbine system. Why is that there? Well, I think of flow, and you'll find out later in the presentation. Self-taught programming. Started with industrial ladder logic, CNC systems, and robotics. I learned everyday software, if you will. Max Basic, Minitab, which is a statistical analysis program that DeckCraft presented. I wrote a bunch of stuff in MS Access and Visual Basic. Then I got my master's in IT. Got my first job, into Linux right off the bat. That's my introduction to Linux. Microsoft networking, long distance wireless networking, physical device repair. What languages I've looked at, played with many of them, learned a few of them. Still do most of them. OSs, tried many, liked few. Who am I now? I'm the CTO, CIO, architect, and lead programmer for Waveguard Corporation in Denver, Colorado. I'm still self-taught, addicted to learn. My daily driver is an Ubuntu 2204 using a 4.2 terabyte hybrid ZFS file system. 64 GB RAM, Xenon, 4 display with link on. Can't carry it. Tools I use: VS Code, Git, PHP, MyAdmin, Lepton, Genie, LibreOffice, various virtualization systems. Currently, I'm focused on the Waveguard patented system and its environment, web technologies, and you can read those for yourself. Most of them are written in PHP, believe it or not. The only one, obviously, Vue.js isn't, Bootstrap isn't, and Cockpit is not. All the rest of them are written in PHP. OSs, I got a little bit of a flavor. These are the ones I chose. Learn, stay learning. Apple, I've had Mac since 1989. I only do it because I have to. That's what we use. We use DigitalOcean. Working on moving to Postgres, QL, whatever you want to call it. 16. They changed a lot of the replication things that are more reliable and better support for JSON, which the world is looking at. Cloud provisioning providers and automated development and container management systems, and the Nix OS ecosystem. The IoT architecture we're currently talking about, based on feedback from the last presentation I gave, it was a little confusing as to what I was talking about. So that's why these guys are here. The Ethernet adapter, little green part sticking on the page. The patented IoT is right there with all the switches and wires. Helping the discussion. So this was our first iteration of the system. The shield is the IoT and Ethernet adapter. It talks to a recording server, goes to a database server, comes in and out. You can pretty much see it. The key things here are each device talks every 15 seconds, and the admin status page updates every 7 minutes. Provisioning is done through the admin web server for adding additional devices. So, the program's pretty simple. when you look at it, you've got a variable count of 5 and an average count of 2. In other words, it's basically binary. This is the new system I'm working on, mostly done. As you can see, because of the need to be mobile and having a client be able to do that, it's a little bit busier, a couple of more databases, etc. We've got, in this case, reporting server, variable count is 11. Average number of values is 5.5. There's only 1 or 2 binary ones in the scenario. Input, 1 variable, 39 different options for input. Input travels from the client page to the reporting server. And from the reporting server, it talks to the unit. And I didn't have that arrow there, sorry. Wasn't thinking about it when I drew the picture. Rather than having it go all over creation, I've got a central focused system that manages what's going on in these tracks. Programming is what is an OLM? It's about control of data. All programming is about control of data. I don't care what kind it is. Whether it's C and C, what language you use, it's about managing the data. And it can be networking is the same thing. It's all about flow. That's where it happened. That's where I kind of learned about flow and how things work. So, how do we architect flow? We architect flow by determining the starting and end. Sounds simple? No. It kind of looks like, in my head, the OSI TCP/IP model, but not quite. If I had to make a change with that, I'd switch the presentation layer with the application layer of the OSI model to get close. But I haven't got to where I'm going to say the flow of how I wrote. It's strongly influenced by HMI. Human-machine interface. This is something we talked about last time. And you're like, what? So was I when I was thinking about it. Everything we touch has an HMI, except for assembly, almost. You still have to have a you still have to have text for assembly. But it goes back into storage mechanisms, figuring out what types of data types, frequency of access, file types and formats for you to make your choices. And mostly determined by speed of access and longevity of the item you're carrying. In our case, because our devices are installed on a house and on a property, we now have a longevity of 30 to 50 years. We have to keep track of things like insurance companies and lawsuits and all those kinds of things. Access devices also determine those things. And what programming language you use for languages. And network communication flow. We have a lot of that going on in our system, and we always have a lot of that going on in our system. Even if you're using Kubernetes or whatever, you still have network flow. In your caching strategies, what you're going to cache, where you're going to cache it, and does it help? So the basis of my choices are basically I think about company going public. And what are my goals? Well, as we talked about last time, these are my typical goals for anything. Simplicity, portability, maintainability. You can read the rest. It's pretty straightforward. But one thing that people don't mention is change management. Because you have systems that are being updated out in the world for a long time, and they get changed from the old system to the new system completely in firmware. How do you manage your data, keep your data current? And I'll show you what I decided to do. My choices: DigitalOcean. Simple, predictable costs, cost-effective, secure, and reliable. Send web control panel, or control web panel, is what I'm using to host the systems on the server. Same basic reasons. MariaDB, because that's the way to go for now, security, etc. And PHP. Why PHP? Well, language of the internet. Capable computer science student could maintain it if I get hit by a truck, as long as I coded a program. It's fast, especially with FPM, Opcache, and or just-in-time compile. A little bit different if you want to read about it. There's the link. It's a lot more complicated than what you think, but it makes it really good. It's flexible and secure if it's done properly. Lastly, it's got built-in ORM/OD. It works really well across multiple providers, database providers. So you write your code, you don't have to worry about talking to me, put in another driver, make sure your tables and structured the same, rock and roll. And at this point, I am going to switch to what CWP is. Okay, so this is CWP. Simple interface, dashboard, tells you what's going on, tells you all the things you need to know currently right now on time. Manages your caching on the web server, on the server itself. As you can see, it's pretty full right now for repetitive tasks, which helps us get in and out quicker. A lot of times, things will change here and top, but it'll change so fast, you'll just get flipped, and it's one of our devices coming in, doing its thing and getting out. What else? It does file management, pretty handy. And you can get wherever you want to go, do whatever you want to do. Those are all the various different sites, etc. It does. It does your DNS, email. I swore that I'd never post email for anybody. Pain in the butt. When I saw how they deal with it, good deal. Not to say that there aren't ever any problems, but most of them user-generated. Once you figure out what's going on, you can deal with it pretty easily. Security, there's just a whole host of things here. Pretty handy. What else you care about? There's a bunch of the typical VS stuff. You can host them, you can sub-host people and let them do their own billing. Web server settings, pretty easy to figure out. Server settings, pretty easy to figure out. One of cron jobs and different users. Root, you can see it's a pretty open thing, and it's written in PHP. Now it's encrypted, so you can't see code, but they've been reliable for a number of years. Last thing would be domains. You're looking for your list of domains and you want to not move away from that side. Accounts. On this particular server, I only have wayfarers things on it. If I want to launch access to a particular account, like a client account, look back in, the way I've got it configured, that's like there. It's on the back side. It's usually nope. There we go. Individual domain account, same basic things. You can really ask for any more. You can do some hosting. It's handy. All get out. Manage emails and same basic things. And like a lot of the other control panels out there, yes, we've got all of these tools. But they work at desktop. Don't have different methodology for dealing with it. That's really a site. Figure out what all add-ons that I need. I keep a maintained current copy of that. That's this guy here. We'll come back to this maybe later. So, what does the original program actually look like? I know where it's hosted, it's there. This list. Side. So the code produces this. This is our current system code. Pretty simple, straightforward, no fancy and I can find that. Yeah. Okay. So simple. The device we have, the Ethernet device, doesn't do HTTPS. We don't have any data here that's going to do anything or be affected by the having inputs or having HTTPS. The red ones are, they haven't communicated in a while. First one's mine in my office. This stands for the mode of operation, Sentry mode. Basically, it's up and alive. This is a older system that we have. Firmware hasn't been updated, so we don't end up with the proper mode in place of it. Scroll down. This system hasn't communicated with us. Now, I have not eliminated any of the systems that are out there that are in transition, like still being built, customers that are changing because somebody bought the house, etc. So you see a bunch of things that aren't communicating. It's not because of our equipment, it's because of life. That won't happen in the new system. So you've got a couple of these guys, and you'll see the dates when they've happened. Some of them are pretty old, 2023 down here. But you can see it updates. This is set for every 15 seconds currently. We're recording, we're moving it to it. And it's server time. It's not local time for any. You can see across the board. Don't care. Or display the time to apply it. It's complicated because now I'm checking on my house and I'm in Europe and my house is in California. What do you tell it to display? What time is that? How do you display? You go by the browser, on a VPN, UTC, you can be done. Pull from an area where you know where they're located, then you can display that. And that's how I go. Catching their IP address, because at some point I'm going to need to know that in the process. Maybe it's sent out, yes, it carries along with it and comes back. But I need to report it for the history of sent here from here. So if we have somebody trying to mess with us, I know where to look, or at least to start. I'm currently changing how these functions work. So I don't have a pin push here, but you have what all the modes are and what they end up with. Now we don't have. This is our intermediate step to the current system. You'll see that there's 23 different things going on. But looking at what we decided to change to, that's not as accurate as well. Telling you is. Look down here in remote, and you see this guy, he's in suspend. Number 6. Out west, in the wintertime, people like to have burn piles. And our sensors are sensitive enough to get a mile or two of burn pile away from the property. We can suspend the system that way, trip off. We also suspend them for, like if you want to have a bonfire in your yard, you go push the suspend and control panel, and it will read the last 6 hours before it automatically mix back on how to suspend. Basically, it just turns off the eyes of the system. Looks pretty decent considering the number of pieces we have out there and the pieces growing, but we've got more coming in bigger systems. That's it for that part of it. Actual drives. It's simple PHP, but it's in transition slot. No, not in transition slot. It's yep. Come on, Carlisle, so shake your 3 bar. Well, backup plan. This way. I didn't do a great job of naming things. Limited number of characters. But it is what it is. So there's a file structure in public. This is just for the server itself. Yeah, inside of it. Huh? Better? Pretty simple. Not anything fancy. I keep track of the controllers so I don't have to repeat. For authentication in the system. There's no real way for the controller to authenticate, track controller IDs, check this. Go to the other method that will make a lot more sense. I forget looking at these things. These aren't that's sales. I have a cheat sheet on the computer basically. I just have to think directly. Here. Speed this along. That's the past. One of the challenges of dealing with the old system when I first got it, and the new system was the organization of where you're going and what you're doing for your architecture. I had used the original URL and pass it through other devices or do I do the current URL for the server, which is server network. So server W is simple construction, essentially one program run the job. Not very pretty. I left some debugging things in this one because I did it quickly. Didn't really care, and I didn't want to lose track of what I was doing in my head. But essentially, what we're doing here really doesn't work. Okay. All right. So coming in, I don't care about error reports. This is basically the connection to the database. This is the connection to the mail program to send emails out to our people when certain events happen. We've got a file that I'm keeping track of all the controllers because they're legit, so I need to know which ones are active. And I need to set the ID active value false in case weird things happen. I'm going in and grabbing the ID of the controller off the header and taking it, adding it to there, grabbing the time, looking at what generation it is, etc. Going down here and looking here as if it's in the array. Is it a valid controller for our system? Then I scroll down, verifying that it's active and it's not an input, values input. Then I'm looking to see if all values are in whichever we're submitting, so we don't get anything outside. Scrolling down, grabbing the various different settings. This is a little complex. I've simplified it because I'm splitting the old system and the new system. So I can just grab, this is an old system, do this code. This is a new system, do this code. But all of the same, all of the same server. Storing the current IP, storing the previous and getting the previous files, so that all I have to do is change the update the database, rather than rewriting the whole string every time. Keep our database smaller. That was a challenge because controllers weren't originally recording correctly, and they would send an empty one every once in a while. So it still ended up in large databases, and that's worked itself down, and I've written the code correct, cleaned it all up, and made it correct. So keep in mind that when you submit a URL, just like a form, everything is a character. It's characters in an array. That's it. Everything's converted to a character. We're sending ASCII. I could send text, but it still would be a character. Looking at it, figuring out what it's supposed to do. If we've got garbled or trash data, what do we do? At the very beginning, and I can take this out now, so we fixed it, but basically we set it to 0. So we knew that was the state that was currently coming through. And you'll see I'm checking here, this is the Boolean freeze from above. Scrolling all the way through, grabbing the various different things. Oh, wait. This one's whether you have an error or not. And this is the mode, is what you saw at the beginning, which is coming off vessel. Yeah, we have an issue. Issue is, hey, we have a file. Now, we're going to send an email every 6 hours while we have a fire to us as a reminder that you are travel, you are busy. Nobody has a monitoring system all the time, every second. So we send an email out, go back in, resend it, etc. Same thing with the system test. Their system test in this scenario is 2 things. One, system test, we only spray water. We don't spray retardant fire. And so we can use the roof floor properly. In Arizona, that's kind of handy sometimes. So it's 120, and your air conditioning goes out, and make the system a good water source. Put your house in basically a giant swamp. But also we test our systems every 6 months. Yeah, every 6 months. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. That's not a part of business. Here's our power source. Track our power sources. We have 3 sources of power: solar, line power, and battery backup power. Water tank, same thing. Carbon tank, same thing. That's part of moving to version 2 of our system. And then, of course, faults. And that was the one I was talking about. One fault going on right now. That's why it's 99. It's going to pull this one. Specific. This one is just for the older systems. It says, hey, there's something broken. You got to check it out. And we go in and view it. So this is the code that creates the chart. I mean, receives the signal from the controller, not the code that creates the chart. The other admin side is the code that creates the chart. Once everything's cleared, right in the database. And away we go. That's this part. This is rewriting the last round, if necessary, into a JSON field that's stored in the server each time it changes. That's that code. I showed you other than that we reporting code, I guess I can show you. This is the code that I want to report there. This is a reporting server code, basically in following system configuration, data information. No quick and dirty icky stuff. Menu things. And this is an iPhone. Sorry, all the data coming from the status is coming from an iFrame. I don't typically use the work that here. About it. Here. I did it that way in case I needed to actually have that inside. Now, on the table, I can go back and grab the history of the controller. As long as it's been, you just click on the view ID, and go. And you'll see that. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm grabbing all the winterized ones, put in winterized, that are in manufacturing and that aren't commissioned, pulling them out of the table. It's kind of a hokey way of doing it, but for the older system, it makes sense. And then I'm just going in and giving it a framework. And looking in, grabbing every single table. The way I created my database is decided we had 10 numbers that we were using for IDs. So that's what I'm doing is grabbing anything with 10 numbers in the table. I've got a bunch of other stuff in the database. Tables, but this grabs just those 10 numbers. And goes in, grabs them, sorts them, spits them out. Real simple. Old style works. Nice thing about flexibility. Shows you we'll go. So the list of these guys, these are all the controller ID numbers. I have a master table that says this is what the table is supposed to be, and I copy it. That way, I have a routine that when we make changes, I can go back into the tables and just change them to what they're supposed to. So I don't ever end up somebody going and creating something and it ends up being wrong. We have got a few removed systems, IDs from the system. And you can see the numbers are there. Basically, I wrote a routine that said, hey, make this say remove it in front of them so that the status won't grab. Other than that, and computerize those things just on the code and manufacture those are the ones just on the code. That's it. That's the old system. This table will always stay. Old, new, whatever. I may retire them, but it's set up so that each one has its own, so there's no conflicts. If I had more than one table, if I had a couple of these guys go in every 15 seconds, I'd have crashes. So that's what I did. Let's see. Now we're around. We have around you. Here. First one. Cover this. Next is the new system version of the laptop. Put it up there as a reminder of what we're talking about. Last slide. So this is the new admin side login. So this is my attempted showing the state of it, but I kind of haven't kept up with it. But here's the status done for the systems. And as you can see, I've upgraded a little bit. Sorted by issue. So where the default is not here. Maybe because it's the system that's out. It's not fault. Last time they communicated, this is your water tank level. Garden tank level will have the same thing as it's reporting in what mode it's in, what fault, ticket. It's got a ticket to it. Client ticket system, which I got done but not implemented, written generic. So that's the current status page, obviously. So tickets, properties. These are the properties, and this is the part of the system, the central part, everything's proper as far as this is concerned. No matter who it is or where it is, because that's the only thing that doesn't change, is the property. Addresses sometimes change. Street versus highway versus Jeff Davis versus Jeff Davis. Anyway, but in general, it doesn't change. And even, this wasn't that address is me as a person. That's the company. That's my boss's office, and that's the company office. And then, as you'll see later, all properties has a purpose. These are some of the various different things. Contacts and users, that's personal information. I can really show you those. Testing is for the manufacturing guys being test control, just the controller itself, not the systems themselves. To have a place to see what's going on. Because the controller's box, we control multiple things, box, you need a place to see that. It's not in an operating system environment. So that becomes that's what I can show you here. I am implementing list-based role permissions system. It's smattered through a good chunk of it, but it's not fun. Most of it uses roles. Show you this. Yeah. But we have various different roles. Like this one. We have this roles, what property are associated. Now, one of the things that's come up recently is, what if one person owns two properties? Not a big deal, contact number, I'll show you later. What if a person owns two properties with very complex systems? They want to look at systems, and for example, we have a client that's got one property has 8 systems. That's a very big problem. How do you address looking at each of those systems? If you notice here, new properties, property ID number. I've been typically doing the data entry, and one of the things I'm working on right now is how to get that so that somebody can't screw it up in its own base. Currently it's barcode, but I need it adjacent for other things. Interesting challenge to get everything right. But about an hour and a half finish testing and then how I solved the problem of properties, our company creating nicknames for things, rather than saying property number. I created a nickname field that defaults to the street address, but you can enter a nickname. That turned out to be very handy when it came to systems. And trying to figure out which system is what when you have multiple systems on it. Is it on one property multiple systems? Now, I haven't implemented this. This is the production side. It is in the R&D side. I haven't moved that code over yet. Not testing, but that really aided into hey, now we have a system. The master system that's got control. The slave systems are an extension of that. But people don't care about that. They want to know, is the barn working? Is the system on the barn working? Is the system on the guest house? Is the system on the float house? So, nicknames made it very easy to deal with this part of the problem. That pretty much covers this other than the code of this. I'll have to go back here. go to as you can see, the website's there. Several of our different websites, some sales things. Actually, I post accounting stuff on here. There's a demo for people to use or have used on that program. That's the version. That's not so that's not our case. So this is the current. This is the current code. So one of the things I was thinking about when I was watching everybody build their systems is they're going out and saying, use the .env to provide protection. Well, if you could put everything but what people actually need to interface with physically below public, then why do you need to worry about dealing with and managing a .env? It's a bad place to leave. So when I built this, I decided that these are all various different things. I decided that, hey, wait a minute, let's create a database class first. Let's create a database class. And in the database class, we'll just extend all the other classes. It's below the level. No one can see it but the developer or the person who has appropriate access. You can't accidentally get there from public because it's not fair. Fairly simple. Can't get to any of this stuff, so I don't care. See it? That's it. I have three databases. Return function to the rest of the code. That's it. Grab it from there. Admin, server, I'm good to go. Take we'll go to Kirby status. So there I'm extending the database class. Simple, not heavy duty. Call the parent class, pretty easy to get going. Get tables. Which database name? That's it. Let's go get all the tables, go. Last row ID. We build last row ID because then you can compare what's currently sent versus what was sent last time around. Typical, simple, easy, not crazily complicated. Grabbing all the histories, sorting the columns. I want to look at what other one do we want to look at? Here's another table. Here's another extension. I'm creating a table, as you saw. So this is the base table code. That's it. Simple, easy. And then I go through and wherever I'm creating a list, I'm extending that. And that runs through the whole admin code, keeping track of sessions. Notices, obviously, helpers, various different places. They have an audit system built into it so that when people log on, they know who's logging on, what they did, etc. working on trying to break up the tables with a little more, classes with a little more organized. But production code versus what the R&D code is a bit different. So that's why you see it here. That's what everybody in the company. This is what everybody has in the company has access to. You can't. Client code is basically a subset of the admin. You take it around. You're showing the same information, but to different people. So I had to do the admin code for the client, which maybe people don't even average people wouldn't understand kind of code. That's just the way it is. You have to manage the flow of that data. So if you go to the client side, and as I am the client, as you saw before, I will see all the systems. Now, this is a subset. This is all the different people. See some of the nicknames in them. But because I'm a member of all the systems, I can select the drop down and look at the status of whatever one is doing, where it's at. Doesn't look a lot different. Not a lot of data coming back. We're only at 5 areas in a single system, so most of that will change a lot. Code for that. Pretty simple. Again, classes and config, but a lot smaller set. That's it. That's all the classes to get actually execute the data. Look at the software here. You see I have a template for that. And inside templates I have language or multi-link. Now I've tested other languages coming from the browser, etc., picking up and detecting those doing that. But I only have English as the current one right now. And I've even reduced it to just the login. So there's a very small window of things you need to call. They're all just data, they're all just arrays. So look here. That's it. Login. That's all I need to have for associative arrays for those kind of statements. One of the things this does is opposed to using the I18N is it makes it a little more easier to create a field where if somebody, say we have an installation in Brazil, Yuri speaks Brazilian, hey man, can you interpret these for me? And give them the form, and you can just type it in, and away we go. I18N isn't quite that way, and it's not as customized to our system. It's also quick, which doesn't really make any sense to me. It does. Bigger things you get. All the different sections of the form, grabbing them together, doing what they need to do. That's the most multi-property ID type things. What else? Things like that. Config, real simple. System. Now, I declare a bunch of things up front when the first file gets read, mostly because I don't want to lose track of these constants. It becomes and I want to make sure we have a session because I use session variables to deal with what's going on the client primarily. I use some on the admin, but not as much because I don't really need to. But with the client, because they're anywhere on any planet, any place, I really need to address session security. But my own autoloader got tired of messing with all the autoloaders on the planet. Because every time you use software manager that Composer. Every time you use Composer, you get in a whole ton of other information and files that you don't need to deal with in a software program. I'm going to use Composer, and I don't remember the database. I'm going to use Hybrid for the sake of the job. Well, if I only use this much of it, I'm carrying this much. I'm not. So why? So essentially, the same thing with how I addressed it. Some notes to myself. Am I going to use a manifest? Probably not in this scenario. Grab a browser language. What role IDs are actually allowed to go to the client? It's completely separate from the admin. So I can't get because I have the same basic line of code on the other side. Some simple things to do. I've got to figure out how to eliminate one user using a password. They can only have 3 entries, which would be the phone, the tablet, and the computer, right? Because I don't want them to be able to give their password to 20 different people. The guy that maintains their property, the guy that's their contractor, the guy that whatever. I haven't implemented that yet. I've got it sketched out. As you can see, role permissions and all that kind of stuff, another to-do left for me to do. But there's not a lot of code here. It really isn't. It'll do a login screen that does what you want it to do. A couple of fields, etc. Now, once you're logged in, some of the session variables, I'm unsetting them just in case there's really useful happens. Once you log in, then you've got a bunch more things and data that carries with the client. Log out super simple. Since there's not a lot of session variables, you can see once the things are done, how you can see except for that. log in there. Basically, I've got the fire screen, the display header running across this page. There's a fire in this area. Another reason for keeping the client's IP address, but also I'm keeping their geocode so that I can do that. I'm writing that part of it down currently. I did one quick sample about how to get five different clients on the map. One of the things I discovered is longitude and latitude. Well, where I came from on the ship, it was latitude and longitude. In computers, it's longitude and latitude. That's how it's stored. It's stored by decimal numbers, not minutes and seconds and all that kind of stuff. So I had a little bit of a hard time wrapping my head around it. And if you store it as a point in JSON, it's longitude and latitude as the point. So a little bit of craziness, but got it figured out. When I do SQL with these guys, I don't do a lot of I determine which areas need to be protected by input. So if I don't need to find variables, I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me that the machine itself is finding variables. It's only for the machines. What the software is. And if you can't go to the host page because you need to be logged in and it's below the public side, then what's the point of having that open? But this is basically the pages up. Now you have a lot of static things here, globals, but nothing changes there other than the data that's coming in. And you can see those things here change and go in. And that is the getting it in. Oh, and that's a key line right there. Not logged in. You don't get past the first line, the second line, you're not logged in. That's it. All done. Session variable. Away you go. And you don't get a session variable for login until you log in. Like I said, right now I'm just using English. I have implemented the login, so there's no point in doing that. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching.